Hello there, happy crafters. This is Claudia with White Sugar Designs, and today I'm working on my daily life journal. As always, I start with a sketch, and there it is. I am using a little piece of crepe paper in the center there of the page. If you saw that little ruffling, whatever it was on the image, that's what that was. And I'm using some black and white photos today that I took when I went to Creativation this year back in January. I was so happy to meet some wonderful people, and I will talk to you about them here in a second. But before, I wanted to tell you that gorgeous little page there that you saw that I'm showing you and that I'm cutting right now. It's actually, it looks kind of funny because it's a digital kit. This is a digital kit by Felicity Jane. It's brand new, they just released it. So I went ahead and got it and grabbed, using Photoshop, I grabbed the images that I wanted to use, that I knew I wanted to use on this page. So I went ahead and got those in one single piece of 8.5 by 11, arranged them in the page, and then printed them out. My printer will not do justice to this amazing kit, so I think I'm gonna have to take it. Oh, before I forget, so there's the crepe paper. I use my sewing machine to stitch and create a little ruffle. And as I was saying, I think I'm gonna take the paper to the printing company and have them print me the entire kit, maybe a couple of times, so I'll have everything just ready to go whenever I need it. So the crepe paper, it was just little from the 99-cent store. You can go and buy some there, and then it already comes in that width, which is perfect for what I wanted to do. And then I just ran it through my sewing machine. You can also use double-sided tape to crumple it up like the way I did, but because the sewing machine, the stitching part, it's not even going to show. So I'm fussy cutting some of the items from the kit. Like I said, I knew I wanted to use those. I knew that the beautiful color, I wanted the colors on the kit to stand out, so that's why I chose to have black and white photos in this case. I had changed my mind about that tag. I thought that, first of all, it was a different color, orange, that orangey color versus that blue. So now that I've switched to this little tag, I think everything matches a little bit better. That is one of the little bouquet of flowers that I was fussy cutting a minute ago, and I cut it in half because I knew that obviously only part of it was going to be showing. There is more space on the right photo because there's no extra little tag, like where you can see there it says this happened today. That little strip there takes up more space and it hides a lot of the flower. So I wanted to have a little bit more texture on the background. So I'm going to show you something here. Although I'm not going to end up using what you're going to see me do this, I wanted you to see it because I wanted you to see that although I have an idea and a direction of where I'm going, sometimes I do change my mind. Sometimes things don't come out the way I want them to. And so this way you get to actually see two different techniques on how to add spray ink on your backgrounds. This Traveler's Notebook is by Webster's Pages, and the paper is really, really nice. It accepts the ink, and you will see that it would also accept watercolors really, really well. It doesn't buckle or is that what we call it, buckle? I don't know, shrink or change the shape of the paper, whatever you want to call it. So I'm doing a little bit of splatter effect there on the page. And one thing that lost my train of thought there. Anyways, what was I going to say? I don't know. But the splatter effect, that's what it was. Whenever I'm doing a splatter effect, I always think, well, what part of it is going to get covered by the photos? As you can see there, most of it is going to get covered. And I didn't like that finer mist of ink, of sprayer on the page, and that's why I decided to change it and do another one. I wanted more of a splatter effect like that right there. So I go ahead and say, nope, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to not spray it, but rather I always say this wrong, spackle. No, it's not. well, splatter. I'm gonna splatter it, or use my finger and tap the cap so that it just puts little dots here and there. And then that's what I do there, and I like it better. I do. It does get hidden with the photos, and then of course I decide to add the watercolor, and you'll see it coming here in a second. And I think that, like I was saying, the paper on this traveler's notebook, it's not as, it's almost like cardstock, not as thick as watercolor, but it accepts the water really well, and you'll see that towards the end. I wanted the watercolor to be kind of subtle. I knew it was just gonna stick out from behind the photos and the embellishments, so I knew where to add it. I knew that only the corners is where it was going to show, so that's why I don't put any watercolor in the center of the page. I'm double checking to make sure that I'm not putting too much, and I kind of dab it with the paper towel as soon as I put the watercolor, so that I can kind of absorb some of that water, but it kind of still leaves the color there. So I know that the left and the right sides it's what's going to be shown from behind the images. I add a little bit of the white to the brighter colors to make them a little bit more subtle, and I use a lot of water because in this case the paper from the kit is the center of attention, what I want to stand out. That brown paper there, it's meant to, like, I think you can actually bake on that. You can bake cookies on that. It's high heat resistant. So I'll have to add a link to that, because it's really cool when it comes to adding it to protect your surface when you're working with paints and misters and things like that. Some of that yellow ink was still on the paper towel, and it rubbed off a little bit, and it worked out perfect. I went ahead and used my dryer to dry the paper to make sure everything was dry before I started gluing everything down. And I'm going to be using some double-sided tape there to adhere that crepe paper. It was hilarious. I posted something on Fancy Pants website on their Instagram account, and I said crepe paper, but I spelled it with an A, which is kind of the you eat. We were having a laugh about that. I only put some glue behind the photos, only on one side, because I knew that I was going to be putting some stuff behind the photos, and sometimes I change my mind, so I don't glue it all 100% until I am 100% sure that that's where I want things to go and that they lined up just right. That crepe paper wants to kind of curl up a little bit, so the double-sided tape and only adhering one little section at a time helps to make sure that it is adhere straight. So I'm working on that little tag there. Since I changed my mind, I want to put that as my hidden journaling, of course, because yeah, what else do I do with my journal but hide it? So I use that little what is that, a hole enforcer, I think it's called. It's by We Are Memory Keepers, and it's super cute. I mean, it's so cute to add that little additional color to your tags. Then I'm using some baker's twine to add a cute little bow that takes me a few seconds, a few minutes there to get it right. But it just added something really cute to the page, just another little more texture to the page. And baker's twine doesn't add much bulk to the page. All of these little embellishments came as part of the kits. Some of them are called stamps, and you can't see it clearly there, but it says memories on that little word that's on the tag itself. Those are called stamps, and it's mainly very simple black and white images, and most of the times are words. There I'm readjusting again that photo, because part of that, this happened today. That's what that little tag says there on the left side. I didn't want to hide it, so again, it was so good that I didn't glue everything down 100% because it had to be readjusted one more time. Then I had cut the flower bouquet there in half, and I bet if once I take this to my printing company that I use, these flowers are gonna look so beautiful. The color, I think it's a little muted here, but I know it's gonna be a lot brighter and a lot prettier once I get it printed by my printing company. They're just so awesome. I mean, if I have any digital stuff, I just have them make me a couple of copies and I'm set. So I'm folding that little tag in half to make sure that it's going to fit exactly in the center of the page. And I wanted to tell you about the photos there because it's so awesome. So on the left hand side, it's the team for Webster's pages. That's Brendan and Laura, and I had the pleasure to meet them at Creativation. Brendan is the owner of the company, and Laura is the marketing director, and oh my gosh, she does everything. And I was so lucky to have met both of these amazing ladies there. We chatted pretty much all day long. And if you don't know, I released on that day that I am part of Webster's Pages design team. So you will see me talking and loving them because they're just totally awesome. Oops, my California was showing there for a second with totally awesome. You're lucky I'm not saying dude because I do. And then the picture on the right, that is Artfully. If you know who she is, she's Leanne, and her Instagram account is Artfully. And she is an amazing person. I absolutely had the best of time. She was so awesome. She drove to Vegas. She lives in Vegas. So she drove to my hotel where we were staying, and she picked me up, and we went to a scrapbooking store that she knew about, and we went to eat dinner together, and we spent, you know, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours together, I think, and we had so much to talk about with, you know, crafting, kids, what we do, what we love, are not about our passion. And I just wish that she lived closer because I guarantee you we would be creating every day together. So you should check her out, Artfully, at in your Instagram, and she also has a YouTube channel here, and she is an amazing designer. She is a design team member of American Crafts, Felicity Jane. So she will be using this kit, I'm sure. So it was just a pleasure to meet all of these amazing ladies at Creativation and in Vegas. So I added my hidden journaling there, as you saw. What else is new, right? And what else is new? There is the doodling around the page. But hey, look, when you have a white background like that, this adds just a little something else to make the page look just a little cuter, I think. So I went ahead and grabbed these letters, which I don't even know who they are by because they are so old. I didn't even remember I had them, and I found them, and they are perfect for my title. One little trick there is that to add my title, I knew that it was going to be Creativation, so I wrote the letters down so I knew how many, and then I found the center letter, which was the I, and then I arranged them. Starts with the I, and you know what, I guess in this, no, it does, because it goes in the center and you don't know where each letter is going to end. So I'm using my clear bendy favorite ruler by American Crafts. That's the Thickers ruler, and it's just, I love it when it comes to adding, I mean for everything, but when it comes to add titles to your page, it just is wonderful. So I lined everything up, and you'll see how I use the ruler to attach the letters to the page. And I am going to be coming to the end of the video, so I wanted to say thanks for watching. I will add all the links to everything that you saw me using here. I hope that you found some inspiration and something creative that you can use and copy on your layouts. And that's it. You know where to find more videos if you like to see more of my silly videos, and I hope that you make time to get creative today and every day, because it is good for all of us. So thanks again for watching, guys. I will have close-ups at the end as usual, and if you'd like to see more, you can also visit my Instagram page for more close-up page photos. So thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye.